Hello and welcome to Duke's Handbook, where I give advice on things that I pull from Reddit on Mondays, 5:30 in the morning Mountain Time. Tuesday through Friday will be episodes dedicated to those who email in at dukeshandbook@gmail.com. Those episodes will be released Tuesday through Friday, 5:30 in the morning. Feel free to shoot me an email, ask advice on something. You got to put in as much detail as possible that I'm able to give advice from a non-biased standpoint. Thank you, and here we go. Let's get on with the show. Oh my god, this first one on this episode is going to be gold because it's a two-parter. It's called, Does the Stripper Actually Like Me? Right off the bat, I'm going to say no. She might like you as a friend, or if you're actually spending money there for the money. But because it's a two-parter, I really want to get into this one. I've already got part one up. Took like a little bit of digging, but I found it. And I've already got part two ready to be read. So let's just go ahead and jump into this one. Because, no. Okay, so does the stripper actually like me? Part one. I know it's her job to act like she's into when I spend money. Wow, horrible. Into me when I spend money on her, but I just can't tell. When I was getting a private dance, we started talking and she gave me her number. Typical stripper move. They have a separate phone for all that, and said she wants to hang out with me at the regular bars, but I just don't know if it's all an act to make me keep pursuing. Any advice is greatly appreciated. So from that, I'm going to tell you no. It's just kind of like a thing that strippers do. I mean, she might, but it's not likely. I've had friends that were strippers that, they told me they've got another phone with a different number and they give people that number, and then they'll text out, hey, I'm working tonight, come by, blah, blah, blah. And that's like kind of how they make their regular money. So, I mean, be friends with the person, but don't be paying for all of her crap, like her drinks and food and all that other shit. Okay, so let's jump into part two because that was very short and very not not really there. So does the stripper like me? Part two. Last night when I made part one, I was half asleep and didn't properly articulate my intentions. I went to the strip club this past weekend and got a dance, and during the dance we started talking, and she told me her real name and gave me her real number. Of course, right? Yes, it is her real number because she FaceTimed me the other night. Okay, still going on with what I said last time. I am not by any means trying to rescue her from the strip club life. When she asked if I wanted to her number, I stressed to her only if she wants to, because if I was in that position, I would want to give my number out to many people just because of people who would become obsessive, which is a thing. So at least you understand that. She wouldn't want, I'm assuming they didn't want to. She mentioned that she wants to hang out at real bars, etc. My intentions are to be friends, not even with FWB, friends with benefits. I'm mainly wondering if you guys think she just wants to be friends or if she wants me to pay for a $200 BJ. Probably. I don't think it's fair to assume that all strippers are hookers as well, but I just can't tell. Any advice helps. I also wouldn't mind hearing what other sex workers, air quotes, think. Um, I'm just realistically here. Yeah, she gave you a real number, but that doesn't mean she doesn't have more than one phone, right? So that could be the phone she FaceTimes, texts, calls people with from the strip club, and then she has like a separate phone for like her personal life, right? Be friends. Don't pay for shit. It's okay to be friends with strippers. That's fine. It's not okay to be friends with them and then pay for all of their shit because you're not in a relationship with the person. You're not even pursuing a relationship with the person. So just, I don't know, be friends, but don't like be frequenting the strip club and then like giving her money for dances and shit. See how it does outside the strip club. Whatever. But yeah, that's I saw this and I just needed to read it because there was two parts. And I mean, like, I guess part two was kind of essentially the same thing, but it got a little bit more, a little bit. And when I say a little, I mean a little bit more in depth of what's going on. I mean, at the end of the day, dude, you're going to do whatever you want. Just be mindful that it's not a real, it could be real, it could not be real, but there's probably an incentive there. So, yeah, just be careful of that. This one's pretty interesting. It says, my dad is going to starve my family. I don't know what else to do anymore, so this is my last resort. I mean, Reddit, I guess. I'm 18 and pregnant with my first. My dad, mom, and boyfriend all live together, and my dad claims he is broke all the time, but I don't believe that to be true. He works at the railroad and makes a lot of money, but will not spend any of it on getting food for the house. And I don't mean snacks. It's gotten to the point where me, my mom, and boyfriend all scrape together coins to have enough for milk or eggs. Considering how many people live in the house, it does go away fast. But now that I'm pregnant, it is more important than ever that we have food in the house. I'm lucky if I eat once a day. We've told my dad about this, and he never does anything about it. We tried to get WIC so we could get what we need, but were declined because my dad makes too much money. My dad also takes the money we earn. He takes my mom's disability check, which is about $300, and takes whatever my boyfriend gets from his job and says, and I quote, "Don't worry about taking care of her, aka me. Just worry about paying me and I'll take care of her." However, so far, the only people who have helped me is my mom and my boyfriend. My dad ignores me as much as possible and is extremely rude to my boyfriend. I don't want to make this too long, but I want to add that there is a lot of manipulation from my dad, and he is a narcissist. I'm going to jump into the edit right now. Edit, a lot of people think that this was a planned pregnancy, and it was not, and I personally did not want to get an abortion. So I'm going to go off the cuff here and say, yeah, dad's a psychopath or a sociopath or something, because I can't imagine a father that wouldn't want to take care of his pregnant daughter, right? And so this is weird to me. There's always the possibility that he has another family as well, or a gambling problem, and that's why he has no money if he does not actually have money. And yeah, I don't know. I think you, your mom, and your boyfriend need to try and get the hell out of there. It almost seems like he's trying to keep you guys broke, to keep you guys there and dependent on him, but he's lacking in even feeding. It's I don't even know if there's like legal action you can take on that for neglect or something like that, because you're not a child anymore. But for some reason, I also don't see this as like being a thing that didn't happen when you were a child. Um, oh man, I mean, like that's tough because like you're an adult now. And I was gonna go into this and just say, I mean, like all three of you guys are gonna have to get jobs. Well, mom gets disability, your boyfriend gets a job, but dad takes that and tells him that he'll take care of you. Don't worry about it. But he's not. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like that's gonna be really rough because even to like get out, you need to be able to save money. But if your father keeps taking it, I'm guessing he has a gambling or some sort of drug addiction, and that's why he's making enough to just keep the lights, water, and a roof over the head, but not enough to feed you guys or even help. So, I mean, that's a really really tough one. I really hope you're able to get out of that situation, especially with a baby on the way. Oh man, I can't accurately give advice on that other than you gotta get out of there. Even if it's with staying with other family, you gotta get out of there. All three of you. And that's going to be a hard find, but at least you being pregnant, you need to get the hell out of there. So, I mean, like, I hope you're able to find something. See, I feel like this one will actually be a really good one where I can, like, give kind of like my big brotherly advice, like I would with, like, my little sister or this kid, James, I'm kind of a big brother for, who congratulations to him for getting through with his basic and AIT and finishing all that up to go into the military. I'm very proud of him for taking that big step. That is a large step to take in life. But this one here, it says, adults of Reddit, does life eventually get better? I don't really have any parental figure I could ask for guidance, so I wonder if strangers on the internet would be nice enough to spend a little bit of their time on me. If you feel like sharing your experience in the comments or on how your life took a turn to the better, I'd be glad to read that. Please ignore any grammar errors I might have. English is my third language. Third, okay, smart kid. Some background on myself. I'm 21, female. Recently, I've been diagnosed with severe depression, anxiety disorder, and ADHD. And a lot of people that don't understand ADHD, it's like kind of like you fit in but you don't. There's like a whole lot to it. It's not just attention deficit hyperactive disorder. It is that, but that's what it's called. But there's like more to it than just being hyper. The specialist I went to could not prescribe meds. My country works in weird ways. To get medicated, I need to visit a doctor 3 times the cost, which is not something I could afford at the moment, as I'm saving to move out hopefully in January. Also, I've been questioning my sexuality since my teen years. My family are homophobic people. At some point, my mom made a scene in the mall upon remembering that I dated a girl. Whoa. Okay. Truthfully, I do not remember how it is to live without depression. It all started with my parents divorced, and my mom moved with me to a small village, so I was cut off from all my friends, and sadly, I couldn't visit them. While my mom is not the worst parent out there, and I'm grateful for her for many things, I've been her trash bin for anger and frustration my whole life. There hasn't been a single day where I hadn't heard her degrading speeches about me. She's one of those people who don't believe in mental health issues being a real thing, so trying to make her see how the things she yelled at me made me suicidal in my teen years was the same as talking to a brick wall. In a way, I'm still scared of her. the walking on eggshells feeling constantly. I'm gonna touch on that. That's hard, especially when you're like living with it since you were a teen, and you can't be who you truly are without having this like beating down of who you are. And if you're anxious and depressed all the time, um it doesn't help. It's like that support isn't there to help you in any way, shape, or form, and that's unfortunate. Hopefully you're able to save up and get the hell out of there. I've always struggled with making friends and keeping them. I was bullied till high school, then I changed schools and became a ghost of the class. I guess it was better that way, though. People who do not know me well think I'm mean and cold because I tend to be expressionless most of the time. In reality, I'm way too emotional, and my stoic face is just a defense mechanism to protect myself throughout the years. Noted. To not describe my entire life here, the things that made my mental health problems take a turn for the worse was getting into an abusive relationship, drug abuse, returning to live with my mom. Maybe 2 years is not a long time for my experience in an abusive relationship to count as valid. Very much so it is. But it fucked me up completely, as it would. Okay, any time spent in an abusive relationship, does not matter the time, is more than enough. Okay, so don't ever think that, especially 2 years, right? But it fucked me up completely. I excused too much of my ex's behavior because he acted like my mom, but 5 times worse. And I thought that it was normal. When things got physical, I was too scared to take action. The drug abuse began while in the relationship. Currently, it's only weed that I struggle with, but I know that once I move out, I will have to quit no matter what it takes just to make sure I'd be able to pay off all of the bills. Luckily, my job won't be affected by the move as I work from home, which is good. That's definitely a start for sure. Truthfully, I am suicidal. I still am suicidal. I still think that everything is pointless and that I have no future. That there's no return to my dreams that got shattered by the one who was supposed to love me unconditionally as I grew up. I still think that I'm too worthless to have any friends, but at the same time, I'm miserable and lonely. I know that there are people out there who had it much worse than I did, but it still hurts. My only goal is to move out, even though I feel guilty to leave my mom's pets behind, as I really love them. What to do after that? I have no idea. I have no communication skills. I'm scared of too many things. There's nothing I'm really talented at. I have no education besides school, and it's too expensive for me to be able to afford that. I want to believe that the future won't be as miserable, but I fail to do so. So people have read it. Did the future get any better for you? Look, there's a lot to unpack here, and being suicidal is no joke. There's definitely mental health issues here. You've been in an abusive relationship for 2 years, and your mother does not help. She's just as abusive. Can almost see why your dad divorced her. I'm going to tell you right now, it always is harder before it gets better. So you're going to have to quit the weed. I don't know what country you live in. I'm going to assume Canada, maybe. You're going to have to quit the weed. I feel like when you get into your own space and you're able to make it your own, it's going to get a lot better, a lot quicker than you think. You're not going to have that, and you might have to cut mom off, Because you're not going to have that negativity coming into your life that is going to affect you psychologically to the point that you don't want to do what actually makes you happy. Now, you may think you have no talents, no skills, whatever. That could all be ingrained into you from your previous 2-year abusive relationship and your mother. So I think once you get into your own space, and I really hope that happens soon, because the suicidal thoughts, that can become overwhelming. But once you get into your own space, I guarantee you, you're gonna lighten up. You're gonna open up. You're going to become more of who you are, and you're gonna really find out who that is, because you're gonna be spending a lot of time alone. Like you said, you really can't communicate. You don't keep friends, and you have trouble making them. I would advise get a gaming console, so that like when you're on your PC, that you're able to game with people and gain some sort of friendships through that. I know that helps a lot with a lot of different people. It helps with me. It helps with a few of my friends that I have that I game with. It's not that life magically becomes this amazing, awesome thing that you just all of a sudden you're in love with it. You have to work at that. But you've got to be able to roll with all the punches and just kind of go with the flow. Keep working, make sure your bills are paid, and every once in a while go on a hike or something like that. You will meet people just hiking that you can be like, yeah, let's go hit a trail sometime. And I know that's like really hard for you to do, but at the same time, it's one of those things that as an adult in general, it's really hard to make new friends, because it's like it always constantly sounds like you're hitting on them, right? When you're just like, yeah, let's hang out sometime. You're pretty cool. They take it some weird way. I really hope you're able to get out of there and just like get into your own space and like clear that negativity and that that negative energy out of your life, and you're able to bring in some positivity and positive energy. There's a ton of comments under this thing, which is great. 11 comments. All of them are stories of, here's what I'll tell you, blah, 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 as a wise old man. I'm going to comment on this as well and tell you where to like hear this. I might shoot you a private link so that you can listen to it yourself. But yes, I and this was posted 2 hours ago. So bottom line is, it does get better. It can get better, but you've got to work on it. You got to get that negativity and that negative energy out of your life. And I really hope that, you stick around. That'll do it for today's episode. Go ahead, shoot me an email, dukeshandbook@gmail.com. Follow the Twitter, Dukes Handbook. The TikTok, Dukes Handbook. Facebook page, Dukes Handbook. It's all the same image. You'll be able to find us. We're on a lot of platforms here. There's a YouTube channel now, so go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Same release times every Monday, 5 a.m. Mountain Time. And you have a good rest of your day. Thank you for listening.